you know me. For those of you who don't, my channel, Enchanted Cottage, we do a lot of tarot readings, and we also do a lot of chats, and we do a lot of videos for self-help to help you along your path in this life and try to make sense of everything and just ascend and just become overall better people and have better life experiences. If you have not subscribed to my channel, well, I invite you to do so, okay? I hope you will join my soul fam and do that, okay? And even if you have subscribed, I hope that you will go ahead and just periodically check your notifications. They do get recalibrated here, and so I hope that you will check the notifications just to make sure that you're notified when I go live or when I upload readings and other related content. And so at any rate, we're going to talk about a couple of things, but what I really have on my heart today is, you know, I've noticed as a reader, as a tarot reader, more and more intense soul connections are, you know, showing up in tarot readings in a romantic situation. And I have a theory as to why that is. You know, even now, more so than when I first started reading, I'm seeing that. And I have a theory, and I think it's pretty plausible, but we'll get into that. But before we do, I want to talk about things, how the intense, close soul connections even happen, and, you know, the whole thought process and that sort of thing. You know, these things are very complex, okay, first of all. You know, and we've tried to make sense of everything. Hey, Laura, good to see you. So we have tried to make sense of everything in our mind. You know, our egos strongly desire to just figure everything out. And so, you know, we've got these nice little labels. Sometimes they're, hey, I'm going to call you IC Intuition. Good to see you. And so we've tried to package these intense connections, these close soul connections, in various packages, and we've not come up with nice little labels, you know, twin flame, soulmate, karmic twin, false twin, you know, all of these things, when really it is my firm belief that it is much more complicated than that, okay? So let's talk about how these things happen. Okay, how these things come to be is this. You know, it is my belief that, you know, souls incarnate lifetime after lifetime, and I think they grow and expand just like a family tree, as evidenced by the world's population, okay? And so the closer you are to another soul on that family tree, okay, at a soul level, the more intense the connection, the more close. And so that's why oftentimes when we meet people in our life, we have like this feeling of, I know you, or, you know, gosh, I feel like I've known you forever, even though you're sure that at least in this life, you know, you're just meeting for the first time, okay? Your soul connections can manifest in this life in so many different capacities. Certainly, we talk about the romantic connections more often than not on my channel with my romantic readings, right? Hey, everyone, good to see everyone. And so, but soulmates and soul connections, you know, can manifest as, you know, they can manifest as you know, romantic partners. They can manifest as friends. They can manifest as family members, as pets, okay, as co-workers, as enemies. And there is a reason for all of that, okay? Because before we come into each life, in my opinion, hey, Kitty Crown, good to see everyone. I'm so glad to see everyone. So we come into this life with a number of different things that we are planning to accomplish before we come here. And because of that, we come here sometimes, we make soul contracts with each other before we ever come into this life with our soulmates, okay? That, okay, here's the roles we're going to play. Here's what we're trying to accomplish. You know, I'm going to work with you and show you that you need to work on your self-esteem. And you're going to, you know, show me, and this is the roles that we're going to play. And you make all these soul contracts before you ever come in. And a lot of times folks come here with other jobs. Many of us, you know, are considered starseeds. I really kind of hate that word. I really like the term volunteers. And, you know, there are a lot of people, and I consider myself a volunteer in that one of my purposes here, one of my jobs, my main job is to fix myself. And that is everybody's main job. But as an aside, I am assisting with the shift in consciousness and helping to wake people up by planting seeds, okay? And there are a lot of other people like me. I'm not alone in this. I have not arrived, so don't think that at all. No, my main focus should and will, you know, always be working on myself, because if I can't do that, I'm no help to anyone else. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. So at any rate, we make all of these soul contracts and these agreements before we ever come here. Okay, now this close intensity that we feel, that is sometimes called, hey Ashley, good to see you, love. You know, sometimes it will feel like what the traditional twin flame teaching describes as a twin flame dynamic. Okay, twin flame energy, I really believe it exists. Okay, but I believe it can manifest in multiple connections, not just romance, and several times probably throughout people's lives, okay? It is definitely an energy, but it is not something that is an end-all be-all, okay? And I talk about this in another twin flame video that I have. You know, Plato talked about when we're born that we're constantly in searching for our other half. Well, really, that's ourselves, our shadow selves, and trying to integrate that. But that's where kind of the whole toxic teaching about there being an end-all and why people wait 5, 10, 15, 20 years for their twin flame to return. Well, that's, you know what? Either you believe the law of attraction or you don't. You can manifest that thing as many times as you desire, if you desire something that intense and passionate that we often associate with twin flame energy. And many spiritualists these days, like the peace dealer, myself, I think Rich is on, you know, there's a lot of folks on board with what I'm about to say. We have now come to the discovery that yes, it is an energy, but no, it is not always just one person. The universe definitely has a backup plan, so there you have it. Okay, that's kind of my views on how these things even come to be. And so again, the closer we are, whenever we, you know, are you know, manifest, you know, coming to be at a soul level, okay, then the more intense, the more close, the more strong the recognition and those sorts of things, and the more likely we are to meet what used to be the teaching of the, you know, characteristics of your twin, how to know if this is your twin flame, right? Okay, okay, I've talked about that. We know where that is. Okay, so with that being said, I've talked about, you know, how they happen, the fact that they're super complex. It is my belief that we are still really in the dark about a lot of the whole dynamic of soul, family, and soul connections, okay? I just think that, you know, we're still learning this thing. We're still growing and learning and this sort of thing, okay? And it's much more complex than being packaged in a label of twin flame, you know, karmic twin flame, false twin flame, and all that malarkey, okay? As I said, one of the things that I have noticed as a tarot reader is that more and more and more often than not, the readings that I'm doing both on my channel and in my personal readings that you guys are so graciously and nicely trusting me to read for you, okay, I'm noticing more and more and more intense soul ties, intense soul connections, okay? And I'm noticing in my own life, okay, because I have several soulmates in my life, of course, that I'm surrounded by. You know, my dad, my daughter, my friends, you know, romance, whatever, right? Okay. Those connections are ramping up in their own intensity in every dynamic in my own life. And I have a theory about all this, and I think it's pretty plausible. So hear me out. Many of you know that there is a great, great push to awaken this planet and to bring it further along into consciousness, okay? And, you know, it is my belief. I heard Rich say this, and this resonated, and I firmly agree with what he said here, okay? Rich Lott, many of you know that he's my hero, okay? All right, with that being said, he made the comment a week or two ago in one of his little chats. He said that Earth is the hey Rock, good to see you, that Earth is the lowest vibration place anywhere. And I believe that. And so as volunteers, we come here. Part of the reason that we come here, again, to work on myself, right? That's the main thing. But also volunteer to help assist with the shift, okay, in consciousness, and to wake people up and to raise the planet's vibration. There are so many of us out there, okay? So, I'm just a person with a passion. Some people call us starseeds. I just really think that's just a nice little label that we, in our ego mind, needed to have to call volunteers. I don't know what you want to call me. I don't think I'm anything special. I just have a passion, okay? And it's burning. Many of you know that, my burning passion, right? And my burning passion has to start within with myself, okay? Or I'm no good to anyone else. I can't really assist in the shift if I'm not simultaneously and primarily focused on raising my own vibration, learning, growing, challenging beliefs, breaking toxic cycles, breaking indoctrination, breaking the beliefs that we have about ourselves and the reverse manifestation that we are all really taught from a young age how to do. Yes, we have. Okay, so at any rate, because of this great push, then the intense, and they can measure the energy of the earth. And I'm not an expert on this, but I read about this not too long ago. The vibration is actually increasing, okay? The percentage associated with that. Okay, so the intensity is ramped up. It's like somebody turning the volume up, if you will, right? And hey, Nacho Mama. And so because of that, hey, Hannah, good to see you guys. And so because we are ramping, all of us, we're kind of turning up the volume on the intensity and the energy and the push to wake the planet up, then along come these intense connections. And I say this sometimes in my readings, but this is very important for me to point out to you. The intense connections that we have with people, okay, friends, enemies, romantic partners, whatever, right? Parents, children, siblings, whatever. Okay, the whole reason for them, the primary reason for them, has nothing to do with romance and has nothing to do with, I'll tell you what the primary purpose of them all is, or are, whatever the correct, plural, singular, I don't care, but okay, you get what I'm saying. The whole reason that those things even exist is this. It is to wake us up. It is to mirror to ourselves what we need to see about ourselves, okay? And I talked about this some in my mirroring video earlier. Mirroring does not always mean that I'm mimicking your behavior. Sometimes it's me, okay, like say you and I, whoever you are right now, you and I are in a connection. Say we're in a romantic connection, okay? And you're treating me like gold and I'm treating you like crap. Let's just hypothetical, okay? I'm treating you like crap. You're treating me like gold. And you're going, I don't understand. I'm doing everything right. I don't deserve this. Well, karma doesn't work like that, okay? But hear me out. But I am holding a mirror up to you at a soul level. And what I'm doing by treating you like crap is saying, hey, look at what you're allowing me to do to you. Wake up and see your value. Wake up and realize you deserve more. Wake up and step into your power. And because you have no idea how powerful you are, and I'm holding a mirror up to you showing you that you have, self-esteem issues, self-love issues, you don't see your value, those sorts of things. So mirroring can often manifest in a couple of different ways. Certainly it can be behaviorally, but it also can be that, okay? So with that being said, all of that is happening because of the turning up of the volume, if you will, to wake this planet up and to raise the vibration up from the funky vibration that we have been in all this time. Okay, so that is my take on all of that. And I want to talk a little bit about my own experiences and how that is, because you guys know when I learn stuff, I share. Okay, so in recent weeks, okay, the people that are close to me, family, friends, and that sort of thing, okay, particularly with one of my family members, the situation, the intensity and the toxicity has really ramped up, really ramped up. And when it first happened, I thought the dynamic between me and this family member, it's not my daughter, but I thought the dynamic between me and this family member had really done a 180, and it had, okay, because I had done some healing, okay, and so I thought, well, this had really done a 180. Well, when all this popped up, I was just, yes, the bigger the connection, you're right, Nacho Mama, the brighter the mirror, you dang right, and it is in your face, and the only way to get away from it is to run from it, runner chaser. We may talk about that later. In fact, you know what, I'm going to write that down so I won't forget. We're going to touch on that a little bit too, but at any rate, so what I had to realize, and when this first went down with this particular family member, when this first really started to just in my face, okay, hurt like hell, I'm not gonna lie. The toxicity was off the chain, and I was doing everything in my power to take care of and do well for this family member, and this family member was doing just what I said, holding a mirror up to me and saying, you got issues, Karen, you haven't fixed this, you're still codependent, you're still neglecting yourself to try to take care of everybody else. You see what I'm saying, right? And okay, but here's what was cool about that. And so I see how this happened. I see how I attracted this. I do. And which is great because I'm starting to learn, you know, and because I've become more skilled at energy work than I was 2-3 years ago, this is much faster for me as far as seeing at least some of the things I'm supposed to see from this experience, okay? So wow, Nacho Mama, so cool. So so cool. Congratulations, by the way. So at any rate, that was the first thing I saw. Is I'm like, okay, I got issues, obviously, right? I've got things I haven't worked through. And then what was cool, okay, and I can thank you guys for this, because okay, you know, it's not just about me anymore. You know, now I'm full-time at what I do, right? So I've got to have my vibration at a certain place to even be able to read and to bring you guys content that is meaningful, right? So it forced me to quickly learn how to be a skilled energy worker and immediately start working on this and shield myself and immediately cut things out that no longer were in alignment with where I was supposed to be, right? And to shield and ground, and I had to do it fast. I had no choice, okay? You know, when you're outside the comfort zone, and I talk about that a lot, okay? That's where you learn. When you're uncomfortable, when you have no choice, it's sink or swim, because I'm in 30-foot deep water, and if I don't, you know, I got to make this. I got to make this thing work, you know, and I got to do it now. So I already am thankful for this very recent experience that was extremely toxic. You know, now, you know, 2 years ago, I wouldn't, you know, I don't know how long it would have taken me to have gotten to that point where I could actually say I'm thankful. Am I still working on this? Of course I am. Am I still healing? Yes, I am. Does it still hurt? Of course it does, okay? But I already see why it's happening and how it's helping me. And there's probably other things that it's going to do to help me that I don't even know yet. And that's okay. That's what this is all about, is, you know, realizing that all of these things are happening for our benefit, to wake us up, to help us to see, to help us to grow and ascend and learn and step into our power. Y'all, let me tell you something. None of us, I venture to, and maybe I'm wrong, but okay, I'm just going to say this. None of us have any idea how powerful we really are. We don't know yet. And that's what this is about, is to stepping into our divine energy and capabilities and abilities, okay? Trust and believe. Your soul is made of divine energy, and it is about stepping into that more and more and more and more. And there's no like one day you're asleep and one day you're awake. No, it's gradual, okay? I mean, y'all, I'm learning every single day. I'm learning new truths. I promise you this, it's crazy, because the more down, I'm super excited because I'm excited about this topic, but like the more I go down this path, okay, the more I learn and the faster I mean, it's just like, it's like a snowball where it just gets bigger and bigger and more intense, but I'm having a ball, you know, I mean, I love it, and I wouldn't have it any other way, okay? Now, you know, of course, during these times where you and I are working on these things, right? and ascending and growing, okay, we're all in this together, of course, and we never arrive, okay? That's the whole point, is to just go bigger and bigger and bigger and challenge, and the beliefs I had yesterday, okay, I may believe differently tomorrow, but I'm open. It's about staying open-minded, not being so fixed in your beliefs, okay, and in the beliefs that you may have been taught as a child, indoctrination and things of that nature into that, as far as, and that alone has a lot to do with why we reverse manifest, okay, if that makes sense. Okay, so anyway, with that being said, I hope I have kind of shed some light on why I think these intense connections have ramped up, why the connections that you're currently in are probably ramping up too. Yes, exactly where we're supposed to be. You got that right. And just trust. And look, let me tell you something. Nacho Mama, I know you can speak to this. When you get to a certain point, okay, and more often than not, I'm here. I'm not going to say I'm 100% here. I'm still working towards this, okay? But the goal is, and more often than not, I'm here these days, is where, okay, I'm flying blind. I have no idea what tomorrow is going to hold. And literally, there are things in my life right now that are real big that are going on. I don't know the timing. I don't know the financial impact. I just know that I'm going to have the money to cover it. And I know that everything is going to work out exactly right. I don't know how. I don't know how. And I'm not going to try to figure it out, because you know why? I don't have to. I don't have to, because I am manifesting success, point blank, period. And I trust and I know that this is all going to be exactly how it's supposed to be for my highest good, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And when you get to, the goal is to get to a place where you're completely flying blind and you're okay with that. Exactly. You have faith, Rock. You're exactly right. And you're okay to fly blind, because you don't know how. You don't need to know how. You just know you're going to have everything you need to get through the next day. Point blank, period, all day long, right? So that's kind of what that's about, and I'll be honest with you. We were talking about finances a while ago. I'm a Capricorn moon. And Capricorns are known for their focus on money. It's not all about money with Capricorns, I will tell you that. However, it is an area that we struggle with, oh wow, that is so crazy, Nacho Mama. But by nature, one of the things that I can speak to as a Capricorn moon is that we have a tendency to overthink and overplan and over budget. Okay, I used to do a 2-year long out budget. I mean, can I tell you the number of times that would change from week to week, and I would redo the whole thing, the whole 2 years every week. And of course, I'm an accountant, which made it even worse, okay, because I'm an accountant by, that's my trade. I mean, I don't do that anymore. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Ashley. Absolutely. And that is one of the things that these intense connections are here to do, is to wake us up to the fact that we are the only ones that can fill up our own cup. No one else outside of us can do it, right? And, but anyway, so, the tendency to be the Capricorn accountant who does the budget every single day, 2 years out. I mean, come on, talk about obsessing. And that was the old me. It really was. And y'all, can I just be honest with you? And I'm not there yet, but I've made a lot of strides. I could not tell you how much is in my bank account right now. I don't know what my expenses are going to be next week. I mean, I've got kind of an idea. I know something. Like, I know I got a car note and all this kind of stuff. Okay, I know I got a car note and car insurance and whatever. Okay, I know I got to buy groceries, and I'm going to have everything I need to buy groceries. I'm going to, I've got this move coming up. I know some of the expenses probably, but there are some probably that I don't know about. I'm okay with that. I don't know how much is in my bank account. I have stopped worrying about it. Okay, I have stopped worrying about it. Okay, I have a list of things I know about because I don't want to forget to pay stuff, right? That's fine. Okay, whatever, and I mean, some stuff I just put on automatic draft and I don't worry about it. I just know the money's going to be there whenever I need it, point blank, period, right? So I've come a long way, and we all have, but and so we talk about that with money manifestation a lot, is don't be overly greedy, right? And don't be sitting there counting every penny, worried that you're not going to have enough money, because if you worry that you're not going to have enough money, guess what? You will manifest that very thing. You manifest what you worry about, you manifest what you fear, and you manifest what you try to avoid. Point blank, period. You manifest what you visualize and what you imagine and what you pray to avoid. Don't let this happen. Don't, oh Lord, please don't let this happen. Guess what's going to happen? Promise you. Watch. Sorry. I'm drinking tea and I got a piece of ice, y'all. Totally sorry about that. But anyway, that's my take. That's my current belief. Some of this is like, you know, like the thing about the intense connections and why they're so much more common right now and why everything is ramping up intensity. Hey, Joy, good to see you. Hey, Joy, I want to make you a mod while I'm looking at you. Hold on. I thought about that. I hope you don't mind, Joy, and you know, because I've got several. Nacho Mama's a great mod, and I've got several good mods. But Joy, if you don't mind, I want you to mod for me. I just love you to death, and I think you're amazing, and I love your energy. You're just such a sweet soul, and so I hope you're okay with that. But anyway, you know, let's see here. All right, there we go. Oh, you're chewing ice too, right? That's funny. But at any rate, so that's kind of my take on this whole dynamic and why things are ramping up. It's just the push to make, you know, to ramp up the energy of awakening the planet. Hey, Nevaeh, good to see you. So that's my, I was bursting at the seams, literally, to share my current thoughts about all of this and why this is happening. And, you know, I was bursting at the seams. The mirroring video that I did earlier today ties right in with everything that I just talked about. So I really, and it's only 12 minutes. It's super quick. And so I hope that, you know, if you haven't already seen that, I hope you'll see it, because I thought it was pretty, I share some things in that about recent readings that are absolutely mind-blowing as far as the intensity and the mirroring and all of that, okay, and law of attraction and all of that sort of thing, okay? So anyway, I have another topic if y'all want to shift gears. And this one's a lot shorter. That was a 30-minute deal. This is probably only like, hey, Deborah. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for that. This one is kind of a short thingy, but you know, this is something that I've started doing in recent weeks and maybe over the past month. And, you know, I've heard this and it sounds so canned that we often tend to ignore it. Okay, I did. Now, I've always been one to meditate in the mornings, okay? And I'm looking in my mirror because people are like behind me, behind my car, but they're just talking, but okay. All right, so anyway, you know, we talk about meditating in the mornings and setting your intentions, and that all sounds so canned. And, you know, when you drink your coffee, you infuse intent into it, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, well, hear me out on this, okay? Hear me out, okay? Certainly meditation is critical. You guys know how I feel about that. You cannot hear your intuition any other way. And it is about spending time with yourself so that you know yourself, so that your higher self, when you need it to, can speak to you whenever you're faced with decisions throughout the day and how to handle things, okay? And give you the gut feelings, and you can hear your intuition whenever it's giving you the leading about people, about situations, and about job opportunities, romantic opportunities, whatever the case may be. Okay, that's important, yes. But, you know, one of the things that, and I'll be honest with you, I learned about Dr. Joe Dispenza, D-I-S-P-E-N-Z-A, through D-I-S-P-E-N-Z-A, okay, through Rich, okay? And so I found actually on iTunes some of his meditations and some of his stuff. He's got a channel too, and he also has a website. And so I started following him. I also started following Everyday Masters several months ago, who I love. He is phenomenal. Everyday Masters and Dr. Joe Dispenza just have both been game changers. So thank you, Rich, for both of those. Okay, he told me about both of those. Okay, so with that being said, and not just me, but like he would said it in a chat. So I mean, he said it to a lot of people. So anyway, all right. So that being said, one of the things that I learned in Dr. Joe's teachings that really, I don't know why it took me hearing it. Yes, I like Abraham Hicks too, or you know, Esther Abraham. Yes, I do. But I learned this in watching Dr. Joe, and I've heard it before, but it hit me differently. Do you know how you hear things, the same things, and maybe you're not ready to absorb it yet, and then all of a sudden you're ready, so it hits you, it kind of hits your soul, and you know that, okay, I need to do this, and this was this. Okay. excuse me, in the mornings, as you meditate, after you meditate, whatever the case may be, you know, we can put ourselves in an energetic vibration from an emotional standpoint. Hear me out on this. You know, I talk about the importance of an attitude of gratitude and being thankful. Okay, certainly that is a feeling. Okay, and you can be in an attitude of thankful, grateful, peace, whatever the case may be. And you can set your intentions to that in the morning at the beginning of your day, and it makes a huge difference in your day's experiences, because you will manifest reasons to affirm whatever you are feeling and whatever you start out feeling at the beginning of the day. If you start out feeling sad, hopeless, complaining, you're gonna manifest more reasons to feel that way, okay, and stay in that vibration. And hey, Jess, and if you, okay, let me just use an example for you. And this is back in the day whenever I used to set an alarm and have to go to work every day, okay? Now I don't set an alarm, but you know what? I wake up at the same time every morning. I wake up about 6:30 every day, and I start working and planning my day, planning the readings I'm going to do, planning my stuff, and, you know, kind of just, you know, I'll meditate and, you know, set my intentions. And after that is when I start planning my day, my readings. I kind of map everything out of what I'm going to do, the personal readings that I've got to do that day, whatever the case may be. You see what I'm saying? But before I do all of that, I've started, you know, really focusing on setting my intentions of what my day is going to be. And I promise you, it has been a freaking game changer, okay? A game changer. And I'm not telling you that it's working perfectly, but I'm telling you it's a hell of a lot better. I promise you it's 85 to 90% better on the days that I have done that. I promise you. It is crazy. And I'm not telling you to repress emotions, okay? Not at all, Lisa Zane. Of course you're not late, baby cakes. Now, I would say this, Lisa Zane, go back and catch the replay, because I believe I probably dropped some big truth bombs through the first 30 minutes or so of this chat. But anyway, I would never advocate repressing emotions, but it is setting intentions. It's kind of a difference, okay? I don't know a better way to describe it as that, okay? But it has made a huge difference in my world. But hey, Poetess Joy, and it's good to see you, love. But so here we are with this thing, and hear me out on this. I'm going to use this as an example. You know, we've all had those days where we oversleep, and where we are literally rushing around in the morning trying to get out the door on time, where we are running around like a chicken with our head cut off. Oh, NASA t-shirt. I know, right? Never a straight answer. Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, and I was talking about Starseeds too, right? That's kind of funny. But anyway, hear me out on this. All right. We start out our day, and yeah, thank you so much, Joy. But anyway, we start out our day, and we're, you know, we oversleep, or, you know, we're rushing out the door, you know, brushing our hair and brushing our teeth and mascara at the red light, and, you know, all this kind of stuff, right? Whatever the case may be, and trying to get the heck up out of, you know, the house so we can get to work on time. And the whole day, we're in a rush. There's not enough hours in the day. The whole day, we're like, oh my God, there's not enough hours in the day. Never going to get all this done. Oh my God. You know, and the whole day you just feel disheveled, right? It messes up the whole day, okay? So that is a vibration that, you know, that you're in when you start your day. And it is going to be, I mean, I have had too many days like this that prove what I'm saying. And I've had too many days where I woke up peaceful and set my intention to having a peaceful, joyous day filled with reasons to be grateful. I've just seen the evidence, and I cannot argue with the evidence, okay? I've heard it taught, and it made sense, and I was like, okay, if I want to have a different experience, I got to do something different. And I did, and I cannot tell you, I have proven how to be in a negative vibration all day and manifest bullshit the whole damn day, okay? And I have proven how to do the opposite. So it works. The law of attraction is always working, whether we realize it or not, okay? We're either working it in the right way to benefit us and to have great experiences, or we're totally ignoring it or saying it's poo-poo or whatever you want to do, and then we're going to manifest. See, Nacho Mama can speak to what I'm saying. I got some receipts. Yep, I got some evidence, baby. Oh yeah. I got some evidence. I know how to manifest bullshit. It's easy. But you know what? You can change all of that. Okay, it requires getting outside of your comfort zone and doing something you've never done before. Mic drop, right? Hey, Sierra, good to see you, love. It's good to see you. So, with that being said, I hope that, those two things that I've shared with you that were kind of on my heart, that and then the mirroring thing that I said earlier. Yeah, stepping into your power. Exactly. And you know what, Joy, you bring up a good point. And, I pick on the Leos a lot because, I love Leos. So I pick on you because I love you, right? But, I say this about the Geminis. I say this about every sign, every sign can be a total asshat, cheater, two-faced, rude SOB, or they can be awesome, okay? It's all about, not blaming crappy behavior because I'm a Gemini, right? For example, many of you know that's my sun and rising sign, okay? But instead, refusing to let that control me, that energy, and becoming a skilled energy worker and controlling that and manipulating energy, learning to manipulate and being an energy worker, okay? And every sign has positives to it too. You know what? And I'm going to say the great things about my sign. Why? Because I'm proud to be a Gemini. Let me tell you why. You will never, it's hard to find somebody with a mind like a Gemini. My God. And I will tell you this, even when I was in a low vibration, because I'm a Gemini, I could always pull a rabbit out of the hat. I could always see myself out, baby cakes. You never saw it coming. And let me tell you what, it's hard to find in general a more intelligent sign than overall. And, there's some other signs that tend to be intelligent too, but Geminis are one of them. We're highly intuitive. We're highly intelligent, and you won't find a better communicator. Let me tell you something. By nature, Geminis are logophiles. That means lover of words. I have a vocabulary that could choke a horse, which is crazy good. I know. And my little Taurus daughter, because I use my vocabulary around her, she has a vocabulary that would choke a horse too now because of just spending so much time with me. In her schoolwork, I think it was last year, and her English and Lit teacher they would read novels, right? Like they do in school. And, in every chapter, that one of their assignments would be find 3 words in that chapter that you don't know the definition of and look them up. She couldn't find any. She had to make some up. Why? Because her vocabulary was influenced by a Gemini. Yes. Now, I could say something like that about every sign. I could. And so, but I use myself as an example because I know Gemini energy so well. Okay, so I'm only using me as a hypothetical. Geminis, right? I know Gemini better than any other energy. So obviously, I can speak more to that. But my point is this. Every single sign has strengths. And every single sign, Geminis, okay, we're known to be cheaters. We're known to be two-faced. We're known to be gossip. We're known to get bored easily. And I do get bored easily, and I am impulsive. But I've learned to not be impulsive and go buy, a car on a whim without kind of thinking about it a little bit. Now, I might wake up on Saturday morning. I live 3 hours from New Orleans, right? And say, come on, baby, and tell my daughter, hey, let's go to New Orleans for the day, which, we did that the other weekend. Many of you know that. And I got a tarot reading in the quarter, and I ended up reading for her. That was another story entirely. But at any rate, my point is this. The fun parts and the good parts of Gemini, yes. The yucky parts, you know what? Integrating it, realizing, okay, this is it. This is what I have to cope with, and this is what I have to deal with. And, these are the propensities that I have if I'm not careful to stay on top of my energy work. I can be two-faced. I can be, all of these things, right? And the same with being a Capricorn moon. I have the propensity to obsess about money. Okay, now because I've stepped into the Capricorn power, I don't obsess so much about money anymore. So I use all of that too. And let's talk about Cancer. Okay, my Venus is in Cancer. Okay, I could be a sensitive bitch. I really could. I'd have the Gemini tongue where I could cut you up and spit you out and did not care. Okay, Queen of Swords, right? And then when you did it back to me, I would go off in a corner and have a pity party for days. Okay, that Cancer Venus would come right out. Okay, but It's not about that, okay? You know, I can blame all of this. Yes, when your weaknesses grow into your strength. Exactly, Joy. And so now, yes, I'm a sensitive Cancer. I'm glad I can feel emotion. Okay, I celebrate the ability to feel emotion, because you know what? That gives me a greater power to put myself and empathize with people who are hurting, who, you know, maybe I've never gone through something exactly what they've gone through, but to some degree, I can at least empathize and have emotion for towards people, right? And but yet to understand that having a Venus in Cancer doesn't give me a ticket to be a titty baby. Does that make sense? So every single sign I could say something about. It's harder for me to speak to other signs just because I don't know those energies like I know my own. So just humor me and understand that I'm only using those because those are the ones I know the most about. Hey, Woke Tara, good to see you, love. Good to see you. It's good to see everybody. And so, and it's interesting, Sierra, you bring up being a Scorpio. I know a little bit about female and male Scorpios. And, there is a thought, and I think there is something to this, that the female and male, the feminine energy and masculine energy associated with zodiac signs can sometimes differ. And I do think that's true, especially with Scorpios. I know it's true with Geminis, probably other signs too. But, for some reason, Sierra, and this is really weird, Prince was a Gemini. Wow. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of cool Geminis, right? I have a meme on my phone that I post every once in a while on my personal page on my social media, and it says, this one was a Gemini, this one was a Gemini, and I think Prince is on there. It's a list, like all these people, and it says, get you a Gemini, we good folks, or whatever, anyway. But I believe that about all the signs. I think all the signs can be assholes, and all the signs can be amazing. And you can step in the particular power associated with those signs. Hey, Gina, good to see you, love. And become, what I strive to be like as a Gemini, a master of communication, and with my Venus in Scorpio, striving to be empathetic towards people and, caring towards people and loving towards people, right? And yes, I do remember she's Taurus, Sierra. That's interesting. Gemini rising, but Taurus. Wow, that's funny. My daughter was supposed to be a Gemini, but she is a Taurus. She came 5 weeks early, so she was born in Taurus season instead of Gemini season. Charity. Funny you would mention that. Intuitive energy reading. I don't know. That was kind of an interesting experience. When she read for me, she had no idea that I knew a thing about tarot. I told her nothing. I just said, I'd like to get a reading, right? And my daughter made pictures, of course, right, for you guys, and I posted it on my social media. I think I posted it on Insta. I have an Insta for y'all that don't know. I have, of course, my personal Insta, but I also have an Enchanted Cottage 333 Insta. And I also have, of course, a Facebook, Enchanted Cottage 333 on Facebook, okay? And I try to post little nuggets that will help you through your day. I like memes a lot because they're quick and simple, and I try to post things that speak to my heart or my soul and that I feel myself that help me, okay? That's what this is all about. It's things that I've learned that have helped me. That's what this is all about, okay? And so, many of you know this. I don't consider myself an expert except for one thing. I can speak with very, very high expertise in my own personal experiences of things that didn't work and things that did. And that's what I'm here to share. Point blank, period. Queens and kings, point blank, period, right? And so, anyway, with that being said, I couldn't help it. I had so much on my mind, I had to share it all, and I hope I helped you guys. But Charity, it was an interesting experience. After she read for me, I read for her, and I read her mail. Sure did, with her own cards, and she had about a half a deck there. She didn't, tarot deck, and I actually have a deck with me right now. It's sitting here in my console. This is 78 cards, right? And her deck was about that thick, right? That thick. So she didn't have a whole deck, but it was real old, and but I still managed to get her story, which was kind of interesting. So that makes one of us, and that's all I'll say about that. Boom, truth bomb. Yeah, I got a very, very general message that could have applied to anyone at all, right? Anyway. It is what it is. So, and I learned that I'm very reasonable in what I charge, you know. Yes, yeah. I paid $75 for about a 3-minute reading, and it was very, very generic. It could have applied to anyone in this room, I promise you. Yes. So, pretty funny. Now, I got very specific, and then she said, "Where did you learn to read?" And I said, "Well, I probably do, at least 10 readings a day, every day, 7 days a week." And she said, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a YouTube creator." And she's like, "Oh." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "I upload probably, 3 to 6 readings a day on my channel, and then I'll probably do an average of, 5, 7, 8, personal readings a day, kind of thing, right?" And and then she's like, "Oh, so you know the tarot?" And I'm like, "Well, we have a relationship. Let's just say that, But anyway, it was kind of funny and kind of interesting, and I think she knew then she was probably busted. So yeah, it was kind of funny. But yeah, I paid $75 for like about a 3-minute reading, but I had fun. I had fun. I had a good time. She didn't pay me anything. I don't care. I wasn't in it for the money, and I wasn't really there to flex. She asked me if I would read for her, and I said sure, and I just did. I don't flex. I'm very thankful for the abilities of being able to pull and read and interpret, and that sort of thing. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. What's up? What's shaking, everybody? What is shaking? Tomorrow's whose birthday? Oh, it's tomorrow's the Taurus, the little Taurus's birthday. Mine just turned 16, Sierra. You know that, right? Yeah, $75 for a 3-minute reading, right? Really? I mean, yeah. I don't have it restricted, Rock, and it's weird. YouTube won't let you restrict it to over 18 without and monetize. And I make my money off of some of my money off of ad revenue. So yeah, I don't restrict it. So and I can tell you this, Rock. I have 3 subscribers that I know of that are ages 15 and 16, 14, 15, and 16. And that is my daughter and some of her homies. And they don't really pop in here that much, but anyway. So I know very well that those that are minors can subscribe if they want to. I can't tell you, Rock. I know all I know is it's not restricted. I don't know if there's any that are below 18 or whatever, and they probably wouldn't fess up even if they were. I know, and I love my daughter. She's pretty upfront, but she probably would just sit here and go. And to be honest, Rock, there's not much you can say to my daughter that she hasn't heard from school anyway. So yeah, thank you, Sierra. Thank you so much. You're a sweetheart. You are a sweetheart. I want, I think, and y'all know I'm getting ready to move here soon in the next probably week or whatever, but yeah, it's pretty out there, Lisa Duck's pretty ridiculous, is it not? And honestly, the reading itself, you want me to just tell you what she said? Okay, here was my reading. There are 2 sides to you. Okay, let me just tell you this. If anybody in here can tell me that this could not apply to them, just say, I'm going to give you my reading. You have 2 sides to you. You can be very sweet and generous, but you can also be a handful if somebody crosses you. And look at my age, okay? I'm in my 50s, obviously, so I've had some relationships, right? So this is obvious. So that would apply to anybody in this room. And then she said, she goes, you have an ex, but you realized he was not right for you. I have a lot of exes that weren't right for me. Okay, come on now, right? And then the other thing that was totally off base is she said, "Who is Michael?" I don't know anyone named Michael. I don't know any history. I don't have an ex named Michael. I don't know anyone. The only Michael I know is the Archangel, okay? And we don't typically deal. And it's not that I dislike him. He's just not one of my homies that I work with, okay? And I have respect for all of the divine energies, and that's great. Who is Michael? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, he's not good for you. And I said, I don't know anyone named Michael. And I said, the only Michael I know is the Archangel Michael. And I said, I've worked with him a time or two, and he's pretty chill, but I really never had any bad experiences with him, and I don't find him untrustworthy. I mean, come on now. Really? Well, if anybody and then it was like, well, if anybody named Michael comes into your life, don't trust them. I mean, this lady missed me entirely. entirely. Yes. Yes, she did. Now, when I read for her, I told her about her toxic marriage and the drama in her house and how her money was in trouble and that she was worried about it. Yup. I did that thing. Yes, Michael's a common name, Jamie. You're absolutely right. It is. It's a very common name. Kind of funny, huh? Yeah, she's a fake. But you know what? I still had fun, Rock, and I learned. I mean, you know what? It's okay. Yeah, I paid for that, Lucy. And then when I read for her, of course, I got a lot more detailed, and I did about a, I don't know, 8 or 10 minute reading for her, and with her 35 cards, right? And I read her freaking mail. I read her freaking mail. Show did. And I mean, I mean, I'm not trying to pin flowers on myself, but yeah, it's a lot for 3 minutes. Yeah, she was grabbing at straws, really. And I think but then whenever she found out I was a reader, she was like, oh crap, and when I walked back by later, she wouldn't even make eye contact, and she was sitting there doing a reading too. It was funny. Yeah, her money is in trouble since she was charging 75 for 3 minutes. Funny, isn't it, Ashley? I know. And I'm sitting there going, and I don't think, I mean, I really don't think this, but I'm sitting there for a minute going, okay, I am way too cheap, and so is everybody else on YouTube that does personal readings. Okay, not just me, but everybody, right? Because, I mean, I try to kind of align myself with being a smaller channel, and I kind of go by the demand of how many people are booking and all that as far as how I price things, right? And what I can manage. I mean, honestly. Thank you, Lucy. She did, Lisa. And, let me just humbly say this, Lisa. It is divine guidance all day long. I have some pretty badass spirit guides / guardians, okay? And there are people who watch my channel who are pretty skilled practitioners and energy workers who can immediately tell when I start channeling when I'm in readings. And because and I can tell, I can look and see my expression change and tell when I'm channeling versus, just following divine guidance, okay? And thank you, Charity. You're so sweet. That it's okay. I had a great day that day. I was in New Orleans. We were in the Crescent City. And yes, we did. We did need that experience. Actually, Nacho Mama, you're right. You're absolutely right. And it was kind of a confirmation to me that, okay, I really am. I'm okay with what I'm doing. I'm doing the right thing by doing tarot readings. And look, okay, I don't hit everybody's energy with every, Taurus reading, for example. There is no way that every Taurus in the world, okay, what is the world population? Okay, I figured it out one time to where on the average, give or take, that there's 150 million of each zodiac sign. Do you think that there are 150 million people all having the same experience as the Taurus that I probably read for? When did I last read for Taurus? I don't know. I mean, I try to read for all the signs something every day. But, the detail reading, there are some Tauruses who are infants, okay? They don't care about romance. There are some Tauruses that are 4 years old and they're people that they're romantically interested in have cooties. There are some Tauruses that are teenagers that don't have anybody to date and don't want to date. There are some there are some Tauruses who are married for 50 years and happy. Okay, you see what I'm saying? I mean, look, okay, let's just use Aquarius, for example. Y'all know Rich is an Aquarius. The crazy Aquarius readings that I've been having the last, really, Rock, I did not know that about Pisces. Very interesting. But okay, y'all know the crazy Aquarius readings that I've been having lately. Right, the romance readings, right? And I've been joking about it. Okay, do you really think that Rich Lop is having that experience? Do you? No. That man is vibing so well with his romantic department and really everything else, right? So that's my point. And a lot of times people will watch tarot and they'll immediately think, well, if she doesn't hit me, then she's not a good reader. No, I'll just hit you another time or whatever. And I mean, maybe I'm not the reader for you. Okay, I get that. But, that's why when you go on YouTube and you see, 50 bajillion tarot readers all with different Taurus stories. Well, there's a lot of different Taurus stories and it's probably all correct, right? And thank you guys so much. And Geraldine, I just uploaded Scorpio earlier as far as new love. I read for that earlier. And thank you so much. And anyway, yeah, Aquarius moon rock. So you've probably seen that, right? And it's like, my God, and I laugh because Tyler talks about the crazy air sign readings, and you know what? Y'all know this, and I'm an air sign, okay? But sometimes, I mean, and I sit there and I think, and we have, I mean, the Geminis, the Libras, and Aquariuses in my readings, I mean, they've been hella crazy, hella intense, and I think, yes, exactly. You're exactly right, Christy94. Ah, thank you, Ashley. And you know what? You're so cool. Yeah, it's just not your story that particular day, right? Exactly. But I look at the air signs and I think, why are all these air signs struggling so much? Thank you, Casclo. That's sweet. Thank you for that. I really, really appreciate that. Because sometimes I will question. I mean, and I guess it's normal to question yourself. Is this all hokey? And I tell you what's really been a confirmation. Y'all, I think it was yesterday or day before, I started doing a new kind of way that I'm reading in romantic dynamics between two people. And I use one deck for their energy and a whole different deck for yours, the person, like the person I'm reading for. It is uncanny. Two different decks, totally seemingly random shuffles, the cards that come out, the same exact cards from two different decks. Why? Law of attraction. That's what my mirroring video was about, mainly, okay? But I enjoy that, and it has taught me that, I did that on a whim, not ever expecting that, and I'm like, why is this happening? Oh, I know why. Mirroring, law of attraction. We attract where we're vibing, right? If we're hung up on an ex, so are they. If we're vibing well, so are they. If we're worried about money, so are they. It has been incredible, and I don't know if I've done Aries through Sagittarius. I still like Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces in this series that I'm doing, and I'll probably get those up tomorrow. But anyway, I did not expect that, but it was great because I learned something from it and it brought a new truth, right? It brought a new truth to my mind, like in a whole different way. It kind of just sat with me. Do you know what I mean? And that was the mirroring video that I did earlier. That's about 12 minutes is literally from the aha light bulb moment from those readings. That's what inspired that video. So at any rate, it is uncanny. And I'm probably now, whenever I'm reading either whether it's for a new person, for a current person, or for your past people, I'm probably now going to start using two decks because, wow, it is just uncanny how that has rolled. And I can't believe it. And I know that, you can have two cards in the same deck that mean the same thing. But to me, it is just uncanny. The cards come out in the same position, either reversed or upright for both sides. Sometimes it'll be as many as 6 or 7 same cards, same position. Crazy. Just crazy how that has happened. And I'm blown away. And so the good thing about that is it kind of more confirmed to me that, okay, I am supposed to be doing this. I'm divinely guided. These are really legit readings, and they are somebody's story for sure. You know what I mean? And so, yes, it is amazing, Rock. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. And Jamie, you're an air sign. Yeah, you know what? And I laugh about, and I mean, I understand why he cuts Libra short. And I'm not saying, yeah, I try real hard myself not to do that. I, for some reason, am struggling. Thank you, Carol Wilson. I, for some reason, here in recent weeks, have struggled with the Aquarius readings because, and I just look at you guys and I go, what is this? And I get it because you just want to throw up your hands and go, I can't make heads or tails of this. This is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life, right? And yet, but my heart goes out to you guys because, okay, if I'm getting it, then you guys must be experiencing it. Some of you, I hope not all of you, but somebody out there is having that experience. And so I think, my gods, it is just crazy. And apparently Tyler's got a lot of Libras that are just really going through some shit right now, I mean, it is what it is, right? And yeah, Sierra, that's funny. But I was talking, Sierra, you know what? You said the Scorpio thing. I got off track. We were talking about the male and female versions of signs. I've had 2 failed Scorpio marriages and 1 failed serious relationship with a Scorpio, all males, okay? And yet, I have had some of the most beautiful friendships with Scorpio women. Is that not crazy? My mother was a Scorpio. She was my bestie. currently, I have some really close female Scorpio friends. So it is clear to you that I'm glad to hear that, Rock, because I just, sometimes I just think this can't be right, but I'll read it anyway, and then somebody nice like yourself or, others will say, no, it's really what's going on, that's really my life right now, and I'm like, oh my God, let me send you some condolences, but anyway, but Sierra, what I was talking about with Scorpios, they are very loyal, very deep. Their loyalty runs deep. And let me tell you something. You can count on a female Scorpio. You can. They're gonna be there. They're gonna be there. They will be there for you, right? And the males, and I think that they're so mysterious. Now the females have that mysterious quality about them too. And that's interesting, and they're mysterious. And let me just be honest. The male Scorpios that I have known in my life, oh, you want to talk about haughty? Woo! Yes, very, very haughty. Okay. Man, very physically attractive, very mysterious, very alluring, and just kind of draw you in. Okay. The male Scorpios that I knew, of course, unevolved. Okay. They'll tell you they forgive you, but they're still telling you about it 20 years later. They don't forget shit. No. And they really just, they just don't, I think male Scorpios, I've talked about Gemini struggles. I think one of the struggles that Scorpios have, particularly males, is to forgive. Okay? And they're not saying forget, but forgive, right? And not continue to use this thing as ammunition 20 years later, right? And Geminis, we in our weak area, when we're unevolved, we can have a hot temper, okay? Very hot temper, really sharp with the tongue, but in 30 minutes, it's all over, okay? And we're ready to make mad, passionate love. Scorpio's still over here pissed for the next 20 years about it. They ain't forgot nothing, and Gemini's going, what? You're still hung up about that? That was over 30 minutes ago. Get over it, right? That's kind of that, we just kind of, and a lot of times Geminis, if we're not careful, and I still struggle with this, okay, we can come across abrupt even when we're not meaning to, okay, and we're not even feeling that. Virgos, I like Virgo energy. Unevolved Virgos can really struggle with being critical of other people and finding fault and not seeing anything that anybody does that's good for them and everything that somebody does bad. And when they start to evolve, and it's always turned inward too. And then when they start to evolve, right, exactly, Rock. But at any rate, when a Virgo starts to evolve, then they'll stop being critical towards other people, but it's still inside. And then as they continually evolve, that energy, my very bestie is a Virgo, a male Virgo, about 20-ish years younger than me, okay? Nothing romantic there, but he is my bestie. We talk every day, and we've been talking every day for probably 3.5, maybe close to 4 years now. He's quite an amazing, very, very awake, ascended Virgo. And what's cool about the Gemini-Virgo dynamic, and we do good as friends. I don't know that I could ever date a Virgo per se, because I tend to go towards air and fire for dating, okay? But the thing that's cool about Virgo, they think like Geminis, they just don't say it so much. So they're very highly intelligent. They're ruled by Mercury, which is the same planet that Gemini is ruled by. Gemini is the diurnal side, the day side, and Virgos are the nocturnal side of Mercury. So we think a lot alike. We're both very much cerebral. We love researching just for the hell of it. I'm probably a walking font of useless, trivial knowledge, right? Because I'll just think, well, I wonder how that works. It'll be something that don't matter, that don't impact anybody, has nothing to do, and I'm just curious. So here I go, researching and reading, and and that's just a Gemini thing. But Virgos are like that too. The difference is Virgos are much more patient than Geminis. Virgos are more stable and a lot less impulsive, and they're not so quick to speak out as far as, especially the sharp tongue side of Gemini, and so that's kind of like an interesting dynamic between Geminis and Virgos. So pretty cool, Christy. Pretty cool. I love Aquarius energy a lot. My daughter, one of my daughter's besties, she is an Aquarius with a Leo. I think her Leo is in Moon, and she's in theater. Go figure, right? Yeah. So she is very, very talented and very, very accomplished, even at her age. But but yes, random and interesting things, right? If you want to find out a little about everything, get you a Gemini, right? But anyway, yeah, and you know, Gemini's like, you know, it's kind of funny because Gemini's like intelligent conversation that can be very deep, but then we're the first ones to crack a joke and be totally just, you know, and we do that to kind of lighten the mood because it's just Gemini energy. It's just, we're just flighty that way, and that can be bad and it can be good. It's just all in when the timing is, right? We certainly don't want to crack a joke at someone's funeral, okay? Right? So with, you know, but Geminis, you know, sometimes we can struggle with when to be, you know, when certain humor is appropriate and when it's not. And I, you know, I'm pretty good at that, but I mean, I am one of these people that, you know, I'm pretty, you know, my sense of humor is fairly dark. I try to, you know, behave on my channel, but trust and believe, there is a very dark sense of humor buried inside this Gemini. Yes, this girl is very balanced, right? Before I was a healer, I was a thug, right? So, see, Sierra, that's funny because that you would say that. I drive my Virgo buddy nuts sometimes. It's funny. You know, he's just like, you talk too much. I could never, you know, I'm, oh, I could never date a Gemini. And I'm like, well, I could never date a Virgo because you guys are too boring. You know? But anyway, I cannot imagine if my daughter had been born a Gemini, what kind of mess we would have gotten into because, you know, we would have had a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, we would have. Well, yeah. You know, you get two uninvolved Geminis, you got jailbirds right there, right? Sellies. That's where you got right there. That is so funny, Rock. That is so funny. But anyway, so anyway, just funny stuff about the signs, and I don't mean to ignore any sign. I love all the signs, especially when they do their energy work, right? I like everybody when they do. I like everybody when they don't. I just really like them a lot more when they're nice to be around because they're doing their energy work. Am I perfect? Oh, hell no. We all know that, right? I have my rough days. Taurus rising, and she's a Taurus. And you said she's a Gemini rising, Sierra, which is kind of an interesting mix to have a Taurus sun. That is an interesting mix because those two signs are so opposite each other in so many ways. You know, they really, really are. You know, Geminis are very impulsive, very mutable. I mean, and you never know where we're going to land or when we're going to want to go somewhere. Tauruses are homebodies. When my daughter was growing up, I used to try to bribe her, and I think I've told y'all this before, to get her to go outside of the house. And I'd tell her, I'll take you, I'd take you wherever you want to go to eat. I'll buy you whatever you want. Just bring me a takeout when you get back. You go by yourself, Mom. No one was happier during the shutdown associated with the pandemic than my daughter. Yeah, she was fine with that. She wishes we were still on lockdown. Me, after about 36 hours, I was impossible. Okay, I was going nuts. Yeah, I was going crazy. Going nuts. It is what it is, right? But how did I learn tarot? Funny you would ask. I had a mental block about tarot for a long time, and my Virgo bestie that I was just talking about mentioned, he kept telling me, you know how to read. You can do this. You got this. You need to start reading. I'm like, I can't read. And I went and bought a deck, and I'm like, I couldn't make heads or tails. I could not read. I could not learn. It was like a year at least. And I put him down, never picked him up for another year. Now I would watch tarot readers. I knew there was something to it. I just thought I couldn't read. I knew good and well. I mean, too many readers, Rich, Tyler, were hitting my energy. I knew it had to be real, right? So, but I just thought I couldn't read. And I thought, well, this is just not my thing, and it's not my ability, and that's okay. I just haven't found my ability yet, and that's fine. That's cool. You know, I was fine with that, right? Whatever. And he's like, I'm telling you, you need to pick up the cards. And so finally, you know, he kind of worked with me a little bit on it, and then I just started kind of playing around with it some, and I was like, okay, you know, well, maybe. And then about a year before I started my channel, you know, and I used to mod for Rich Lop ages ago, not on YouTube, but like he did readings on Facebook. He would go live on Facebook and do readings, and I was a mod there for him. Well, anyway, long story short, and I DM'd him one time, like about a year before I started my channel, like, hey, I was thinking about starting a tarot channel. He's like, do it, and I was shocked because I'm like, what? And I didn't understand that whole we can all win thing. I'm not in competition, we can all win, which is really true if you think about it. But, but with that being said, he's like, do it. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know. And I was working in accounting and I was like busy and really wasn't vibing well, and I was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, whatever. Well, then, the pandemic hit and I got stuck at home, right? And I was like, so I started learning the cards. Well, and I started reading for my friends and stuff. And, yeah, Sierra, exactly. And, yeah, he's a Virgo moon and rising, which is pretty cool. But anyhow, so, at any rate, I started learning the cards and I started reading for some friends, and they're like, you're starting to read pretty good, and I would try to read for myself, and I later came to understand why most readers can't read for themselves, which actually I can't read for me more often than not. Yes, meditation is very, very important, and yes. And one thing I've learned in reading, I go back to the readings I did back whenever I first started this channel compared to now, and I just cringe because I missed so much. I was compared to what I see now and what I saw then. And like one thing that I've learned about overthinking and second guessing yourself, you never do that in tarot. The first thing you think when you see a card is typically correct, okay? And even like there are cards that come out, okay? Let's just use the King of Wands in the upright or the Emperor in the upright because they're similar in their energy, okay? Not exactly the same, but similar enough for purposes of this hypothetical, illustration. But like that is a card that can be really, really good or really, really not good. And it depends on the cards around it, right? But I have learned this. When you are doing a reading and you're pulling cards, and if the very first card out is either Emperor or the King of Wands, that gut feeling that you get, your other cards are just going to confirm what you got. And I have learned that. And cards can mean so many different things in, of course, the reverse and the upright. And the more you go along and the more you read, the better you get. I look at my readings 3 months ago and now, and I see that I'm a better reader now than I was even 3 months ago. And then I see that I'm a better reader now than whenever I first started my channel. Okay, so you just evolve. And look, I watch other readers, not as much now because I just don't have time. And quite honestly, can I just say this? I kind of create my future now. Right? Now, I can get a vibe check. I can. And it does help. So I do watch Tyler sometimes, and I watch Rich sometimes. There are other tarot readers. I like Chris from Minnow Pond, and I like Ant from Cancer Moon Tarot. I love all of them. And there's some others. I like Fierce Tarot. And I just shared one on my community page. She's got about 20-something thousand subscribers. She's got a real strong Southern drawl, y'all. It's Loving Cup by Cindy somebody or something, but you'll see her on my community page. Y'all, she can read her ass off. She shared, I didn't know who she was. She shared one of my videos, and I'm like, who is this? So I went over and I was like watching, and man, can I tell you, she hit me wide open. The girl hit me wide open, and she knew the cards too. She was reading. She was fucking reading. Because some reader, and you have to be careful here on YouTube, some readers will paint you a story and not tell you what the cards actually say. But if you know what the cards mean or could mean, then you can tell all of that, okay? No, I didn't start 3 months ago, Christy. I started back in August of 2020. I started my channel in August of 2020. Y'all will get a good laugh out of this. I was, my spirituality in general, I was very much in the closet. I live in the deep South, okay? I am definitely cut from a different cloth than a lot of folks that I'm surrounded by, okay? But at any rate, I forgot where I was going to say. Oh, so I was in the closet about my spirituality, right? And I wouldn't talk about my beliefs at all. And so the first week that I had my channel, I didn't show my face. I did these hands thing. And I was like, fuck this. I don't care. And I just went wide open. I did not care. And there was just like no stopping, right? And but yes, Lucy, she's amazing. So, loving cup by Cindy, somebody. But look, she's on my community page, and it's probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 posts down from stuff that because I share stuff. Y'all know that. I mean, but go to my community page and keep scrolling, and you'll see where I shared another reader recently. It was like yesterday or day before that I shared her, and I said, y'all, this lady can read her. We blew off, right? I think I said rear end in my post, but you get what I'm saying. But she can read, and she hit me. She hit my sun, and of course my sun and rising are the same, so I don't know if she hit my sun or rising. We'll just say both. She hit my moon, and she hit my Venus. Can I just say, whoa? Yes, Cup of Love by Cindy G. You're exactly right. And Lisa, I don't know if you watch her. She's got she doesn't do personal readings, and I don't think she reads every day. She posts all kind of stuff. But she did an all signs reading, and let me tell you something, and I commented, that girl can read. She's one of the best readers I've ever seen. Not because she hit my energy, but because she knew the cards. But she hit my energy too, crazy as it was. She hit everything head on. So not only did she blow my mind from her knowledge of the cards and what they meant, but you do watch her. Okay, Lisa, but she hit my energy, which was crazy, incredible. She doesn't, I looked on her channel, she doesn't do personal readings, and I don't even think, I think she doesn't even take donations and stuff. But anyway, thank you so much, Icy Intuition. But yeah, she's a good reader. I like Fierce Tarot. Sometimes she hits my energy, sometimes not. She's an accurate reader, though. I like Fierce Tarot. I've just found her not too long ago. I think somebody told me about her, because I want to say she told somebody about me, which kind of humbled me, because she's a fairly big channel, Fierce Tarot. She's the girl that has the ball cap on. She's cute as a button. And pretty good reader too. But and of course y'all know my heart is with Rich. I love me some Rich Lobb. That's my homie right there now. That's my spiritual big bro. Yes, he's young enough to be my son. He is still my spiritual big bro. It is what it is, right? And Tyler, oh man, who can't love Tyler? I mean, he's just cute as a button, and you know, he's a sweetheart. He cracks me up popping off at people, you know, and I just want to hug him and say, it's okay, Tyler, don't take things personally. When you have 500,000 subscribers. You know what? I used to watch Stargirl the Practical Witch. I liked her. You're right, Geraldine. I liked her. I haven't watched her in a long time. I need to pick her. And I don't have, you know, the ones that I like and I'm talking about, I don't have time to watch them regularly, just because my own schedule is kind of, you know, where I just can't pick up and watch. I tell you what I do now. Rich on his other channel, Rich and Leah Behind the Scenes, every Saturday and Sunday morning, he does a morning chat for about an hour. I can't always make those, but I try really, really hard, because that's when you get the big truth nuggets. He's not reading there, he's just talking. And yes, Rich is a cool dude. He's a cool dude. Very genuine, very genuine. He has helped me so much. Thank you, Lisa Duck. That's so sweet. You know what, Paula, I had a ball with Tyler, and can I just say, and I think I've said this before, y'all have probably heard me say this, but Tyler, I DM'd Tyler, of course, and he and I communicated via DM before we actually went live together. Well, when we went live together, before we went like public on YouTube, we were like, it was almost like we were on that software, but it was kind of like a video chat just between us before he pressed the button to go live, right? Y'all, one-on-one, he is just the same. Just the same. He's just as genuine. I mean, what you see is what you get. He is really that way. He's a very humble person, very kind, and just very, I don't know, just very gracious, whatever it is that I'm trying to say. But what you see is really how he is, okay? And so, but anyway, but those are some of the readers that I like. I think I'm subscribed to a couple of more. Oh, I tell you who else I like. Molly's Tarot. I don't know if y'all watch her. She's amazing. She is a great reader. She's accurate. She hits my energy a lot. And Chris at Minnow Pond really hits me a lot too. He really does. And I like Chris because he's a very high vibe reader. His readers are more general, where he's like, this could be love or money or whatever. But he'll hit my energy a lot. And he's a very good reader. He's a very high vibrational reader. He's very positive with his messages. And, but I like to watch folks when I can, because I learn about how they take the cards and things that they, and I like Ant. Ant is very high vibrational too. from Cancer Moon. He's very high vibe. And you know what I like about Ant? He's younger and he's youthful, so he appeals to like a lot of the younger folks that maybe the older folks like me don't as much appeal. And we all need readers, okay, that appeal to different types, different, demographics of folks, right? And so I like that because he's got a positive message and outlook and the way that he reads. And not to mama, be careful, be safe, okay? But anyway, but I like the fact that Ant is so youthful and he appeals to the younger folks, like, more like my daughter's generation and stuff, right? And now my daughter watches Tyler sometimes too. She'll watch Tyler and she'll watch Ant sometimes. And I don't know that she watches me. If she watches me, she won't tell me. But anyway, but she will watch Tyler's Taurus readings, she will sometimes, and so very interesting. Even at her age, and she just turned 16, many of you know that, she's already had a very, very, very intense romantic connection, even at her age. But why do I think that? Again, because of how much more they're happening on the planet in general, because there is a ramping up of the energy to wake folks up. Does that make sense? So I hope that kind of helps. You don't care for menopause that much, right? And that's okay, because different readers for different folks. I mean, we all have different. Oh, I tell you who else I like? Ramblin' Mike. Love me some Ramblin' Mike, right? He'll say, thank you, Source. Thank you, Spirit. Tell us something, guys. And he'll be shuffling them cards. He's a sweetheart. Man, he's a big teddy bear. I just think he's adorable. And he's got such a sweet energy about him. Ramblin' Mike. I don't know if anybody knows who he is or y'all watch him. I believe he's very genuine, very loving. I think he's an Aquarius too, which is kind of interesting because, Rich is an Aquarius and Ramblin' Mike is an Aquarius, and yet their personalities are so different. I love them both. I tell you who else I love, who else's channel I love is Peace Dealer. I love me some Peace Dealer now. I haven't watched Leo King, I know of him. But I haven't watched. Leo King is supposed to be huge, but I've never even watched Leo King. Isn't that weird? Excuse me. Oh, there's another one that's a small channel that I can't think of the name of. Carol's Universe. I heard about Carol's Universe. And there's another couple of ones that I subscribe to that are kind of small that I liked them. I thought they were pretty darn good readers. One of them is a young guy. He's probably in his 20s, maybe 30. Y'all, he's a hottie. Now, he's too young for me, but like, he's a hottie, but he's also a really good reader. Let me just throw that out there. And tarot readers being air signs. That's funny, Jamie. And now, of course, Tyler is an Aries, and I guess Ramblin' Mike's an Aquarius. I don't know if, I guess Ant is a Cancer Moon, but I don't know what his sun sign is. Regretless Life Tarot. Oh, that's a cool name. I don't know of that, Christy, but I love that name. Regretless Life. Yeah, no regrets. Jay Austen's Tarot. I know of Jay Austen. Yes, I like that one too. But we're all different, and I think everybody, at least there's more people than I named that are good, right? That are good readers. I don't mean it that way, but those are just the ones that I know of, right, that come to mind. But everybody that I just named, okay, and I probably named easily 10 channels in addition to my own, I like all of them. I think they're all high vibrational. They all have different oh, cool, Rock, I didn't know that. But we all have different personalities, I guess is the right way to say it. And so we all would appeal to different, hey, LaTanya, good to see you live. Good to see you. But we all appeal to a different, type of people, right? And that's cool, right? And so at any rate, that's why I think it takes all of us. I really do. That's just my opinion. And, there's plenty of abundance to go around. Soulful Revolution. Nacho Mama, I've heard of Soulful Revolution. I've heard of her. Regretless Life. You like her, huh, Paula? I'm glad to know that. Glad to know that. That's good to know. I love So many readers, okay? And there's others that I've subscribed to that I cannot remember their names, okay? And some of them, you know, I just kind of need to unsubscribe from. We're going to leave them nameless, okay? Yeah, we'll just do that, okay? But yeah, it is what it is, right? I mean, but it doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they're not right for where I am in my part of my journey, right? Baba Jolie. Okay, I'm telling you, I love all you got. And so, oh, Eat, Read, Love. Oh, wow, that's cool. Oh, there's one called Empress Tarot, and he doesn't show his face. He's a fairly small channel. He's larger than me. But and he doesn't post every day, but he's just got such a sweet energy about him. Willow Vines, wow. See, there are just a bajillion tarot readers. There's somebody here for everybody, for sure, right? I cannot think, it's Empress something Tarot. I cannot think of his name, but I like him. I do. And, but yeah, Spiritual Pathways, attributes cards to sons. Those cards don't belong to. Well, I will say this, Rock, kind of interesting you would bring that up. You know, a lot of people feel like the Death card is associated with Scorpio, for example. I'm just using this as an example. Tyler's Scorpio card is the Tower. Most readers attribute Gemini to the Lover's card. There are a few that it is the Magician. Empress Wisdom. Yes, you're right. Empress Wisdom. Yes. And then, Leo. Okay. Most readers attribute the Strength card to Leo. Aunt and me, the Sun. So you know what I do? Like for me, there are some signs, and I'm sorry, it's just the way it is, that have two cards when I read, and Gemini's one of them with Magician and Lovers. And Scorpio, okay, I picked up the Tower from Tyler, and I still do the Death card, okay, and the Sun card and the Strength card can be Leo energy for me. Aries can either be the Empress card or the Emperor. What else? Who else? What else? And for me, and Pisces can sometimes be associated with High Priestess or the Moon. And I usually just associate it with the Moon. She brings Virgo. Is she a Virgo, maybe? Is that what it is, Rock? I'm curious. Yeah, the Fool, some readers associate the Fool with Aries. You're right. Funny, I had an ex read me the tarot when I had the Death card. They told me something was going to end. Well, it sure did. But you know what, though? I will say this, Christy Joe. I thought I saw there's a siren around here. What's going on? Okay, whatever. I don't care. If somebody gets me and I go and I pass on from this life, just know I had a good run. Okay, don't worry about me. I'm fine. Right. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, all right. The Death card in the upright doesn't always mean endings. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? Sometimes it can mean a change or transformation. It can also speak to shadow work, clearing out the old and bringing in the new. So a lot of times you will catch me clarifying a Death card. And sometimes the Death card in reverse mean that somebody won't change when they need to, or they won't heal when they need to. Hello. Yup. So see, there again, cards can have multiple meanings, right? So sometimes the High Priestess in reverse means somebody made a decision without using their intuition. Sometimes it means they're being honest. It just depends on, that's why I like to pull several cards instead of just one. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So and I look at the commonalities. I really do. LaTanya, self-care, right? Pamper yourself while you're doing shadow work. And you can't just, like, I've been doing shadow work now for over 3 years, right? And I will say this. For the last 3.5 years, have I been doing shadow work every day? No. I would take breaks from it. And you have to. It's too hard. And you can't heal from everything at one time. My belief is the reason for that is that it would physically kill us because it's just that hard sometimes, okay? So my 2 cents, take breaks when you need to. And you'll know when it's time to start back, right? And self-care, always, whether or not you're in shadow work. But if you're in shadow work, self-care, hey, Melissa, but if you're in shadow work, you need to ramp up your self-care. If Mercury's in retrograde, you need to ramp up your self-care. If all these planets are doing crazy stuff, you need to ramp up your self-care, right? And so with that being said, I hope that kind of helps you guys. Self-care is self-care is self-preservation many times, okay? It's not about being selfish. The most selfless thing you can do is put yourself first, because if I'm not pouring from a full cup whenever I read for you guys, whenever I come and talk to you guys, whenever we talk about things, whenever I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a romantic partner, whatever the case may be, I'm no good to anyone if I have not filled up my own cup first. I have to put myself ahead of my daughter. Yes, that is right. That makes me the best mom that I can possibly be. And that is totally, yeah, Paula, good. You probably need one. Hey, I hope I say this right. Is it Jaquita? I hope I say that right, love. Good to see you, babe. Good to see you, love. Welcome in. I don't know how much longer I'm going to talk, but I did some pretty good stuff. Y'all of you, those of you that are just joining, catch the replay of this, because the first probably 40 minutes was some pretty good info, okay? Yes. And Sierra, you can shield from that too. There are ways to shield. And I actually have a video on one of my playlists. I don't know. I know it's in the Life Preserver, called Grounding, Centering, and Shielding. And it talks about that a lot. And there's all, look, I could talk from now for 30 days. Paula, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. But I could talk about grounding for 30 days without taking a bathroom break. Shielding, the same thing, and centering. And I would not cover everything. Most of my things on there are to get you started. You know what I mean? And I've got other stuff linked from other people on YouTube, not just for me, right? And thank you, Jaquita. I appreciate that, love. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you so much. But yes, energy vampires, it is a real thing. It is a real thing. Sometimes people who are narcissistic can be, but it doesn't always come from someone who is narcissistic. Sometimes empaths can be energy vampires too. Oh, yes, they can. Yes, they can. We all can be. Sometimes without realizing it, okay? Most often than not, it's something we're not even aware that we're doing. But you can tell when you're around somebody. If you feel drained afterwards, you know, whether they mean to be or not, and I don't recommend calling them out on it and calling them a vampire, but just know and know to shield, and really, probably limit your time around toxic people in general. Yes, hermit mode. And you know what, Christy, it's okay, because, but you do need to learn to shield. And I tell the ways that work for me, but there are other ways to shield that are outside of what I talk about on my channel too, okay? There's a lot of ways to shield, okay? And it's very important. It is work to shield and ground and center. It requires energy work. It beats feeling like shit, okay? But it is energy work, which is why it is so important, particularly for empaths, even that are skilled empaths that have evolved and stepped into their power. That's why they still have to have time alone to recharge, myself included, okay? Yes, I am an empath. Yes, I ground and shield and center. It requires work and it is tiring. So yes, sage and salt baths, yes, incense, all of those things. But at any rate, that's why even after I ground and shield and center, whenever I do energy work and whenever I am out in the world or interacting with you guys, and I love y'all, it's not that, but we never know, right? We never know who is out there lurking and not even talking, right? You have to just understand that there are sometimes people who are either intentionally or unintentionally malevolent, right? Danita, you can book a personal reading by following the directions in the description box below my most recent video, love. I'm not doing readings right now, but thank you so much, okay? So, yes, but so it is much easier to do that work ahead of time before I interact here or with other people or go grocery shopping or whatever. It is much easier to go ahead and do the work before I ever leave my comfort zone, where I'm grounding, centering, and shielding. And then I go out into the world. I'm all equipped. I'm good. I'm vibing. I'm doing well. I'm, acting nice and being nice and, all those things. And then when I get home, it is imperative that I take that time for myself and go into solitude. My daughter is an empath, and she is the exact same way. She has to have her solitude. Lemongrass, yes. But I'm going to tell you what I like better than sage, and I do like sage. I like, I may say this wrong, Palo Santo. I use Palo Santo incense daily. throughout my day, particularly when I'm reading. If you guys ever notice a little burl of smoke floating across the screen, that's probably Palo Santo. And if I'm really feeling I need an umph, I'll pop in some dragon's blood right along with it, because dragon's blood puts whatever you're doing on steroids, okay? It is like Palo Santo to the nth degree. Does that make sense? And so I love dragon's blood for that reason. It is a very, very powerful incense, and you can get dragon's blood, you can get sage that has dragon's blood in it, okay? And yes, he did, Sierra. I saw that. Yes, he did. In fact, Sierra, I don't know if we're talking about the same reading. It was maybe a few weeks ago. I was watching Rich do a reading, and I can't remember what sign it was even. But yeah, well, the reason I like Palo Santo, sage is good about clearing negative energies. Palo Santo transmutes it, which is super cool, because that's really what we should be doing anyway when we're smudging. You know, responsible smudging is not just getting rid of negative energy to go find some other poor bastard to attach to, because that's exactly what will happen. You have to send it back to source to be transmuted, but Palo Santo does that for you. Yes, oh yes, that's why I love Palo Santo, and I'm becoming a big, big fan. I use Palo Santo more often than anything now whenever I'm trying to keep the energies nice, whenever I am reading. I use Palo Santo a lot. But okay, Sarah, you were talking about this. Rich did a reading, and it was really a rough reading, okay? And he said, "Oh my God, I gotta do some incense." And he did some incense, and it was either sage or Palo Santo incense, and it was still rough. And he popped in some dragon's blood right along with it, and I knew exactly why he was doing it. He knew it needed some power. Yes, Palo Santo does smell a lot better than sage. I agree, Paula. I like the smell of the Palo Santo incense, you know. I have found a new place. I've been ordering a lot of decks, tarot decks on Amazon, but I found a new place that I like called Magic Planet, and they have incense on there too, and I like their prices, and they have a different selection than Amazon, and I love Magic Planet. Have y'all noticed the different deck that I've been using a lot that has kind of like, it's kind of almost comical, the artwork on it? That I got from Magic Planet. I'll have to get the name of that deck. I can't remember, but I'm in love. That's my, like, it's almost surpassing my Gilded Tarot Royale favorite. And I like them both a lot. So, yeah, I'm enjoying both of those decks a lot. But, y'all, I probably go through about a deck or two a week. And I just wear them out. Because I can't stand it when they get old and they don't shuffle good. I just cannot stand it. Because they're hard to shuffle to me when they get old. There is nothing like the feeling of shuffling a brand new set of tarot cards. Right after you smudge them, it's like, you know, it's just this breath of fresh air, right? It's awesome. I know that's crazy, but, you know, that's just me, right? I'm just not one of these folks that can hold on to old tarot decks. So, I don't have one of Rich's decks. You know, Sierra, he had a deck that he put on YouTube, not YouTube, but what was it? What's that place? eBay not too long ago. And it sold before I could get to it. I wanted that deck so bad. It was beautiful. And, you know, but I've got more old decks laying around that I don't know what to do with them. And they're just sitting there, and I'm not using them. I've given several decks to my daughter. I've given them to her friends, and, you know, because they use them, and it's fine for that. But, like, it's embarrassing whenever I'm sitting there trying to shuffle, and I can't shuffle because they're old, and I'm, like, you know, interacting. And plus, I just hate the way they feel anyway when they get old. I know it's weird. I'm just weird like that. But anyway, I go through probably a couple of decks a week. I order, and the last time I ordered, I ordered 10 decks from Amazon and 4 decks from Magic Planet, and that way I'm set for a while. I got several of the Gilded Tarot Royale because I love that deck, and then I got some other decks to try out that I am enjoying a lot of the decks that I got, right? And so pretty cool. I have a Golden Girls tarot deck that is absolutely hysterically funny. It is so cute. And but I feel like if I use it to read for you guys, you won't take me seriously. But I like it, and it shuffles well, and I can read from it. But Rosemary is, you know how we talked about, Sierra, that dragon's blood puts everything on steroids. Whatever you're doing, it just ramps it up. Rosemary, dragon's blood as an oil and as an incense ramps up work. Rosemary as an herb does the same thing from an herbal standpoint. And from a crystal standpoint, the clear quartz, which is also known as selenite, does that. It ramps up whatever you're doing. Be careful with all of those things, because if you are vibing rough, you're having a bad day, and you like dragon's blood and nothing else, well, you don't want to magnify that. Same with the selenite crystal or the rosemary herb, right? So, yeah, you have to be very cautious with those things, right? Wisdom of Oracle, that's cool. Frankincense, yes, okay, yes. And so, and my guides, I burn things in honor of them. Secret tarot. Oh, that's cool. Wow. I've heard about secret tarot. I'm still wanting to check secret tarot out. I need to do that. Y'all, I just don't get a chance to like I need to. And I like to do that because I do like to support, especially the readers that I like and I feel like are giving a good message and, trying to be helpful towards people and help them with growth. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, Christy. One thing that I've always heard, and I found this to be true from a personal standpoint, and I have a ton of, I probably have 50 or 60 crystals. I'm not so much into crystals so much. Now, I do use them for protection purposes when I read. Y'all can't see them, but they're there. But because it's important. This is a portal, what we're communicating on right now. But at any rate, but I've heard this and I found this to be true. Many of you guys know that what's that one? Citrine is for success, and it's kind of like the caffeine of crystals, right? And I've heard don't keep it under your pillow or near your bed when you sleep because it keep you up. And that did for both me and my daughter. It kept us awake. So we have to keep our citrine in our purse, right, away from the bed, right, or somewhere else. Yeah, but it is a very powerful and good stone. It really is. Amethyst is a very powerful stone. It is a protective stone. It is healing, and it, of course, helps with spiritual gifts. To help with ascension and awakening and intuition, lapis lazuli, I may say that lapis something or other, Lapis. It's a beautiful stone. I've got a couple of those. That's a good one for that. Red jasper is highly protective. Of course, black tourmaline. There's a lot of lavender incense and herbs has a protective property, in addition to the peaceful vibe that you often associate with lavender. Okay, lavender is very very powerful as an incense, as an herb, or whatever, right? Lapis lazuli. That's right. You're right, Rock. And I'm not a crystal expert. I have one that I love that is a bumblebee jasper, and it's very rare, and you can only get it tumbled. You never can get it untumbled, and the reason is because, and it's beautiful. Oh my God, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's black and gray and golden colored, orangey golden colored, just like the colors of a bumblebee. But the reason that bumblebee jasper, you only find it tumbled, is because the color that makes it the yellow or orange is sulfur, and it is highly, highly toxic, and it has to be tumbled. You won't ever find that untumbled, right? It is pretty rare, and I have a beautiful palm stone, bumblebee jasper, that I adore. I love. That's one of my favorite stones. I have aventurine, I have jade, citrine, several black tourmalines. Of course, I have several rose quartz. I have what else? Bloodstone. I have moonstone, sunstone. I have several of the agates. What else? What else do I have? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know the meaning of them. So I have a sodalite. I sure do. And I like crystals. I don't know why, but it doesn't call to me as a practitioner as much as firework or candles, incense, and things of that nature. And now what I like to do if I'm taking a spiritual bath is I have dragon's blood oil, and I have lavender essential oil and stuff like that, and I have some other essential oils, depending. And I like to drop a little bit of that in my bathtub, and of course I light a candle, and I infuse my energy and intent into the candle of what it is that the spiritual bath is all about, right? To do whatever, right? So anyway, because of course spiritual baths are for many different things, but you can do a spiritual bath to do so many different things. Most people associate it with self-care, which is certainly understandable. It can be used for that, and it can be used for taking care of negative energy, transmuting negative energy. It can be used for enlightenment. It can be used for healing. It can be used for ascension. It's really what you put into the intent of what you are doing. Oh, yes, all day, right? Yes, yes, yes. So I like candles a lot. I like fire. I find that fire is something that makes something happen in a more rapid fashion in general. So many times, the things that, I'm doing, like in a spiritual bath, I will write down my intent on a piece of paper, and then I will say it out loud, burn it in the candle, and let that energy go up. That puts it on steroids too. Fire is another accelerant to energy work, point blank period. Okay, it will make things happen faster. I don't know if you guys knew that, but there's your little tidbit of the day about working with fire. And it's pretty funny because you guys would laugh. I work with fire a lot, okay, as I said, because I like it. I've always been drawn to fire, even, just bonfires. I mean, it's just mesmerizing. Think about it, right? But I work with fire so much, and I know how to be safe with it, but I use it inside the house because I know how, okay? And I have the tools and the things that are necessary to handle that type of working, okay? So with that being said, I'm so used to handling fire. Okay, hear me out. There was this one day that I was at home and I was cooking, and I was on the phone with my Virgo bestie. We were talking, and I was cooking while I was talking to him on the phone, right? And of course, he knows a lot about my workings, okay? Anyway, and he knows I use fire a lot. Well, anyway, so I'm cooking, and something had spilled on one of my burners, and I didn't realize it. And I had my burner on, and I was trying to boil eggs, right? And I had the eggs on, and I had turned them on, and I'm just like talking on the phone, and I'm just real cool, calm, and collected, and like sitting there, and like all of a sudden, out of the burner, this big, flame comes up, and it's a good flame, about a foot and a half high, and it comes out, and I said, "Oh, you'll never believe this," and he said, "What's that?" And I said, "My stove's on fire." And he said, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, my stove's on fire. I got to put it out. Hold on." And I was just totally just like, "It's cool. It's just fire. No big deal." And he's like, "You're going to burn the house down." And I'm like, "It's just fire." But that's how used to working with fire I am, which is probably too comfortable, but it is what it is. But anyway, I probably in a former life was a pyro, right? It is what it is. So there's your laugh for the day about my stove catching on fire, and me totally not the least. I mean, in fact, it burned for a couple of minutes before I even mentioned it to him on the phone, and I'm just like, "Yeah, well, my stove's on fire. I guess I got to put this out." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just going to turn the burner off, and it'll go out, and I'll put this on another burner, and then when that cools off, I'll clean the burner. It'll be all cool." He's like, You're gonna burn the house down. What are you doing?" And okay, he's a more experienced practitioner than I ever thought about being. He uses fire all the time, but yet he's sitting there going, "Oh my God, are you okay? You're burning the house down. What's going on?" Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, "It's just fire. It's just fire. No big deal. I mean, if I go, I had a good run, right?" Just like I said earlier, right? So anyway, I didn't know that, Rock. I'm glad to know that. Yep. So anyway, there's your good laughs for the day about my practice and what a little bit of insight into the elements that I like to work with. Okay, all the elements have their place. Certainly, incense is associated with air. I use graveyard dirt sometimes. Yes, I do. I am that girl. Yes, I am. And sometimes I use I use fire almost always. I use water sometimes as well. Yes, I do. Water is very cleansing, very purifying, okay? Air is about bringing in knowledge and intuition, the same elements that are associated with the tarot: air, earth, wind, and fire, right? And spirit, right? That's us, right? And that's what that's about. And, that's why oftentimes, I talk about in shadow work, it's okay to cry. That's the tears, that's cleansing. Okay, that's one of the elements. Very powerful. And if you think about it, those of you who know anything about hurricanes and the tides and the flooding, think about what happened with Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. You don't think water is a powerful element? Okay? Think about it. Water can change the landscape of the earth. It can change the landscape of a river. Think about that. Okay? Water is extremely powerful. all the elements have their place, okay? Fire purifies, water cleanses, right? The earth grounds, gives stability. Hey, Breezy, how are you doing? And the air, that brings in the knowledge, the intuition, the wisdom, right? And it blows out, you know, things that don't need to be there. So, yes, everything, oh my God, everything is intensified in a full moon, Sierra. You're right about that. Man, this last full moon with in Scorpio, oh yeah, it kicked my butt, but it was good. It was all about shadow work and exposing things. And in general, like I've said to y'all, my ascension, my energy work, my own path has required me to either step up or step out. Okay, and I'm not going to step out, so we know what I did, right? And I'm doing, right? Thank you for being here, Breezy. Good to see. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you, love. And Sierra, I was on my back porch, sitting out in the moonlight, ugly. Can I just be graphic with y'all? Because okay, crying is sometimes ugly. I had mascara, I had snot, I was okay, yeah, that was me in the full moon energy, right? And you know, we're in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, and I don't know if it's because I'm a Gemini, because I've done some energy work, or just because, but I feel pre-shadow more so than any other time in retrograde. But I'm pretty happy because right now I'm not feeling it so much. In fact, can I share something with y'all? Yes, I was a raccoon. Yes, Rock. Yes, yes, yes. And so I think we've all been there at times, you know, where it's just, you know, you just have an ugly cry. But you know what? After I have an ugly cry, I know I can feel cleansed. I know that those tears were cleansing, okay? That was the element of water and the job that it was doing, right? And yes, it's because things are intense, Jamie, and honestly, I speak to that a lot. You should catch the replay on this if you didn't catch the first part of this, because, you know, but Suzanne, my Aussie friend, what is it, the Land Down Under, back from the 80s, that group, what was that group's name? I don't know, but anyway, hello to the Land Down Under, Suzanne, good to see you, love, my Aussie friend. But anyway, I don't know, I totally lost my train of thought, but it doesn't matter. It'll come back if it was important, right? But, Mercury retrograde. But you know what's really interesting? Are y'all ready for this? You know, we always associate Mercury retrograde with the return of the ex, right? Or it hits our energy where we start missing the ex, right? Take what resonates, right? Wherever you are in this whole thing, right? And I got a message today that I did not answer. Today, from 4.5 years ago, we are still holding on. Tanks, love, how you doing? Good to see you, love. But yes, we are in the pre-shadow, and wouldn't you know, today, I don't know if today's the first day of pre-shadow. I looked it up the other day, but I can't remember what it was, but I knew we were a few days out from it when I looked it up the other day. Pre-shadow is typically what always hits me the hardest. The ex reached out today, and it went unanswered, and honestly, I was just like, you know what, I don't have time for this. And it was kind of, I'm so thankful that it was really just like, it was just not even a thought. It was like, you know what, at a soul level, I'm grateful to you for honoring the soul contract that we had. You know, you're still vibing. I mean, he's still with his person, and yet he's reaching out to me. You don't think this dude's broken in every way? Yes, of course he is. He is a hot mess, heartbreak looking for a place to happen. It's not going to happen here, not in this one. No more. No. You know, I've done so much work on myself, and I'm not all that in a bag of chips, okay? But I've done so much work on myself and transformed my own energy that I am not about to, number one, take on a project, number two, jeopardize my own energy, you know, and number three, it's not fair to me to have done all this work and then vibe with somebody who's not vibing. No, that's not fair to me. And I love me too much to do that. Point blank, period, right? You know, yes, he's attractive. Yes, he's a hottie. Yes, he's physically attractive to me. But not really, because I know what the vibe is. Thank you, Breezy. Took a long time before I could say this. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I know, right? LaTanya, Hey, y'all. Dun, 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 right? the return of the X and Mercury retrograde. And sometimes it's just energetically. Most Mercury retrogrades affected me that way. So I totally can understand this. Thank you, Paula. And men at work. Yes, yes. And they talk about a Vegemite sandwich, which I don't even know what that is. And they talk about various things about Australia, which is just, you know, I told you this, it's on my bucket list. I don't know if you saw, I commented back to you, I think it was yesterday or today. I'm like, Australia's on my bucket list. I want to go to the Outback, yeah. Among other things, right? I want to go to the Great Barrier Reef. I want to go to the Outback. I mean, those are just all on my bucket list, right? Maybe I'll astral travel there, right? Maybe I'll do that one day, yeah. Most of the time, those travels are kind of far away, but we'll leave that for another conversation in another time, right? Oh, that would be so cool. Is it good, Suzanne? Do you like Vegemite? What's it? I mean, is it a meat or a protein or rock? Hello. Is it like a meat or a protein? Is it what's the texture? Is it like a spread or like peanut butter or something like that? Something of that nature. I don't know. You know what I heard, and because I've had friends that have visited Australia, and they say that you guys are so friendly and that you love us Americans and you're just so hospitable. And I just think that's great, right? Hello, yes. So, Rock, I don't know if you were here when we were talking about the return of the X and Mercury retrograde. Dun, 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 right? And I heard from mine today. Yes, I did. It's very healthy, but not popular. The taste is, we're so used to, oh, cool, cool. Okay. Apple butter, but with vegetables. Okay, Jana. I like apple butter. That much, yes. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Rock. Yeah, I did. Yep, I didn't answer. Did not answer. Did not answer. For a couple of reasons. I deserve somebody who's worked on themselves as much as he's still with that person, and yet he's reaching out to me. Yep. Yeah, I know, Ashley. I just talk too much. It's ridiculous. He just meant, wish they would go away. Takes Tara. Is that not hilarious, right? Like Nutella. Body movement. Oh, okay. I like Nutella now. I really do. I like it. I haven't had any in a while. I need to get some Nutella. But, yeah, he reached out to me. I didn't answer back because, number one, I've worked far too hard on myself to raise my vibration to jeopardize it in that way. He's still with that other person, so that tells you everything you need to know about whether he's worked through his crap, right? And number two, I deserve more than a project because I am not a project. I mean, to some degree, we're all a work in process, but I am not someone else's project. It is my responsibility to fix me, and I am not his life preserver. I cannot rescue him from his situation, and he is in a situation, trust and believe. And you know what? He made his bed, and he made a choice. And there are consequences with every choice, right? And that's where we are on this, okay? I'm thankful at a soul level. He honored a soul contract. He did. And I'm thankful for that. I am. So much good came from that experience. So much good. Yes, I would not wish that experience on my worst enemy. However, that being said, I could not be more grateful for every single minute of every single day. Yes, and it is, Jana, you're right. It is very hard to shut out the narcissist, right? And I will be honest with you, and I talked about this early in this video. I know this about myself. In an unevolved state, and when I'm not on top of my energy work, I have the propensity to be a narcissist magnet, okay? And I've dealt with that even recently, okay, with one of my family members. And it was, you know, it was good because and I already see why it happened. I see why I attracted it, and I see how it has benefited me. So there you go. And if you want the long version of that, it's earlier in this video. I won't tell that story again for those of you who are bored with me. And I'm fixing to go because we're almost 2 hours in. Rock, you may be right. You know, I saw something very interesting talking about the narcissist empath dynamic. Hear me out on this. I think this has some merit. You tell me what you think. It has been said by more than one person. There is a fine line between a narcissist and an empath. I used to be in a lot of empath groups on Facebook, right? They're victims. Many times they will go into victim mode if, well, okay, hear me out. The narcissist takes advantage of the empath, right? How can that happen if a narcissist cannot feel energy and be highly sensitive to it? Point number one. Point number two, in those empath groups, okay, granted, those empaths have had some crappy experiences with some narcissistic folks, right, who've treated them like crap. But if they're not careful, they will go into and stay in victim mode and in victim mentality. And poor me, I never do anything wrong. Nothing is wrong with me. I never do any wrong. And before you know it, you're in that I do nothing wrong narcissist mentality. And you start controlling others by being in a victim mode. I think there's some validity to that. I'm not saying every empath is a narcissist, but I think it's a high possibility that a lot of folks walking around with narcissistic behaviors actually started out as empaths that were unevolved and didn't work through their shit. Right? That's what I think. I think it has some validity. Possibly. And again, I think it's just like these strong soul connections. I think it's more complex than anybody really realizes. And we have yet to put our arms around that whole dynamic. Yeah, and you may be right, Rock. You may be right. But anyway, yes. And so that's why it's important, Sierra, to ground, center, and shield. Because it beats the hell out of feeling like shit, right? Yeah. Hey, Mr. Lowe. Welcome in. You got the last part of this. Let's see. Claiming they were narcissistic. Yeah, see? You're right, Christy. See what you're... Because you have to... like... See, and you do. You take turns playing victim. You're absolutely right. I think it's true. But you're in that same vibration, Jana. I think it's, and it is a lot more complex. Lessons, you're absolutely right, Rock. It's a lot more complex than any of us can be. These whole strong soul connections, and I think the narcissist empath is a soul connection. I think there is a soul contract between those two to wake the empath up. Hello, I do. It is much more complex than we can wrap our arms around. Point blank, period. At least right now. But maybe it's coming. Maybe our understanding will get better as we go along our path, right? Deeper truths, right? That's what this is all about. Yep. Yeah, and you know what, Sierra? Me too. I really, really limit toxicity in my life as much as I possibly can. As much as I you know, you just have to. You just have to. I mean, and why? Because it will affect you. And then you got to go off and do the shadow work and heal from it. No. Why put yourself through it to begin with? Just limit it as much as you can. You don't think you can cut out family? If I cut you out, it's because you handed me the scissors. I don't care what your relationship is to me. Point blank, period. Blood is not family. Not always. I mean, you know, now, granted, the people who are your worst enemies in this life, you actually may have a very strong kinship with, and they were honoring a soul contract that was made before you got here. And after this life, more than likely, when you go back, you're going to look at each other and high-five each other and go, hey, we did it. Yeah, it's all right. Let's celebrate. Ha-ha, and you'll laugh about it. Promise. Bet. Yep, bet. That's how this thing is really rolling out. This is kind of a simulation. It's not really as real as you think it is, okay? It's not really as real. Now, I think we're here because it has to do with our ascension at a soul level, okay? And I personally think one of the reasons that we choose to come here is to speed that up, okay? Yes, less likely to waste time on the BS because you realize what you deserve. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. You're exactly right. So true. So anyway, will y'all be good? I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all so much. I still have a personal reading that was finishing uploading whenever I did this. And, excuse me, I got to email this to this lady. She is just a sweet lady who booked a personal reading, and I've got to email her link. And then I got stuff I got to do around the house. So at any rate, I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Thanks everybody who is here. Thank y'all so much. Thanks Taro, Misty Lowe, a drawer full of scissors. Jenna, I love it. Oh my God, I do too. And I didn't even think of that, right? That's so funny. Love you too, Rock. I love all of you guys. Y'all all be safe. Take care. Take care of yourself. Okay, put yourself first. Good night, Ashley, love. I love you all so much, and I will talk to you all real soon, okay? Have a blessed night and a blessed rest of the week.